Okay. All right. Vygotsky, it's a learning-centred approach. The teacher, and by that word teacher, remember, can be a peer. It's not just the teacher as in, it's the MKO. Models a new strategy in a context that's suited and matched to its use. There's a clear articulation of what the strategy is. The language of learning, and I know that Lisa was talking about you have to be, it's not just the language to express the understanding, you actually have to have the language in your thinking in order to then use it to express your ideas. Does that make sense? Yes? The teacher articulates what the strategy is, how to use it, and when it could be used. And then there's an articulation of the strategy, how to use it, and the student helps and joins in. That supported idea. I can see it, or I can hear about it, or I can have it shown to me, and then I can join in. Then through repetition of the tasks, students take on more of the responsibility and eventually complete the task independently. As Helen said, it's like a spiral spiralling up. And I know at the back table they talked about learning shouldn't be this, it should be about this first. But over time, by doing this broad learning, you're actually building and moving forward. Okay. This approach provides active and sustained support for students. So that's our work. How do we provide that active and sustained support? They're just words. What does it actually look like in the teaching situation? It requires explicit teaching. The teacher leads student development teaching in the zone of development. And then there are decisions to support the learning of all students. And then the new abilities are developed on the basis of skills already mastered, from the known to the unknown, which comes back to knowing our students and the role of assessment and ongoing monitoring. And then through the identification of strengths, we're building the challenge at the right point. But a shift of thinking is, and this is what Jo was sharing with us, there's mutual effort. Within this model, there's an expectation of mutual effort and mutual responsibility for both the teacher and the learner. It's not the student standing there and the teacher does the work for them. There's that handing over the responsibility and the expectation to students. And that's part of the social aspect of learning, the interaction of two learners together, or the MKO and the learner. That's the collaboration and the social part of learning that Vygotsky included in the theory. It's not about it's about transforming attitude, ability and outcome. Down here on this table, I know they talked about, well, I could go home at the end of the day and say, yes, I taught numeracy, I taught phys ed, I taught in my literacy block, but was there learning? The fact that we did it, we did the teaching, but if it wasn't in that supported way right at the point where a student needs it, how much learning will there be? It's not a transmitting of information to be reproduced later. It's the transformation coming through participation and understanding so that the student moves into that next stage. But please hold the view for working with your team in this way as well, because there will be challenges. It won't be an easy road for you. There'll be people who become frustrated because it's just too big a gap, or people who may be oppositional because they don't see that motivation that we talked about. So you will be stretched in lots of ways as learning leaders. Some really specific things that you do when you are reading. That's all right. It's amazing going around how people went to professional reading. We're too stressed as teachers. I put leisure up there and I put it first. It's amazing how people went straight to professional context. Okay, when you're reading, what do you do? As a proficient reader, what are the really explicit things that you do?
Well, I always, for leisure, I always look at the cover and the title to see if I'm interested in it.
Yep.
Yeah. favourite.
Yeah. So you relate to favourite authors, yep. Yeah.
And you discard it if you don't like it.
Yes. So in the discarding, what makes you make that choice?
You have that emotional attachment.
Yeah. So you're actually, you're checking if you can relate to it. Yeah.